Hello learners, our discussion is on reciprocals, which is the second topic, Mathematics Form 2, and in this lesson I'm taking you through computation using reciprocals. I'm Teacher Sharon. Welcome. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to use reciprocals of numbers to evaluate given mathematical expressions. Let me lead you through the given examples so that you can be able to do that. So we are told in example 1 to use reciprocals tables to evaluate the following, and the expression given is 1 over 0.0125 plus 1 over 12.5. So in short, they want the reciprocal of 0.0125 plus the reciprocal of 12.5. So we read the reciprocal of 0.0125 from the table. So we have the reciprocal of 0.0125, and for us to read the reciprocal of this number we have to write it first in standard form, which will be 1.25 multiplied by 10 power negative 2. This is because the decimal point has moved to the right twice, and then we raise by negative 1 to mean that we are looking for the reciprocal. So it will be 1.25 power negative 1, that is the reciprocal of 1.25. Then we multiply by 10 power 2. By the law of indices, we have 10 power negative 2, again power negative 1. So we get the product of the powers, and that will be negative 2 by negative 1, which is positive 2. Now let's read the reciprocal of 1.25 from the table, and we have a table here. So the first column, which is labeled X, we should go to 1.2. So this is the row 1.2. Then we go to the column which is labeled 5, because our next digit is 5. And to the column 5 we move downwards, and they coincide at a number which is written as 8000. So that number should be written as 0.8000. So we write that number as 0.8000 multiplied by 10 power 2, which will be equal to 80, that is 80.00. We move the decimal point 2 times to the right, so it will be 80.00, and that is the reciprocal of 0.0125. Now we are also required to get the reciprocal of 12.5. Again we write it in decimal point, that is we write it in standard form, which is 1.25 multiplied by 10 power 1, because the decimal point has moved to the left once. So our first two digits again is 1.2, and we go to the column labeled 5. So we have the first two digits 1.2 to the column labeled 5, that is 8000, so it should be written as 0.8000, and because we were getting the reciprocal, this is supposed to be raised by -1. So 10 raised to power 1 and raised to power -1 is equal to 10 raised to power -1. So multiplied by 10 power -1, and this gives us 0.08. Now we were supposed to add the reciprocals, so we have 80.00 plus 0.08, which is 80.00, then 0.08, and this gives us 80.08. So the final answer should be 80.08. Our next example, we are told to evaluate the following expression using tables of reciprocals, and we have 4 over 0.375 minus 3 over 37.5. So you can rewrite this as, we have it here, so we'll write 4 into 1 over 0.375 minus, then this one can also be written as 3 into or multiplied by 1 over 37.5. So this means that we take 4, we multiply by the reciprocal of 0.375 minus 3 multiplied by the reciprocal of 37.5. So to get the reciprocal of 0.375, we have to write it in standard form. We'll have 3.75 multiplied by 10 power -1, and again we raise by -1 to mean reciprocal. So this will be 3.75 power -1 multiplied by 10 power positive 1, because we have -1 multiplied by -1 by the law of indices gives us +1. So we read the reciprocal of 3.75 from our table. So our first two digits, it's 3.7, then we go to the column number 5. 3.7, here is 3.7. We move to the column labeled 5. And if we move our table, you'll see the column labeled 5 right here at the bottom of the tables, and that number which coincides with the row 3.7 is written as 2667, which should be written as 0.2667 because the first number is 0. So we have the number written as 0.2667. Then we multiply this by 10 power 1, which will give us 2.667. Now we also look for the reciprocal of 37.5. We write it in standard form, which is 3.75 multiplied by 10 power 1. Again we raise by -1 to mean reciprocal. So 3.75 power -1 will be the reciprocal of 3.75, then multiplied by 10 power -1, because of 1 multiplied by -1 gives us -1. So we read directly from the table the reciprocal of 3.75. So we have our table here. Again we go to the row labeled 3.7 and we move to the column labeled 5. So we move our table a bit, and this is the column which is 2667, and it should be written as 0 point because the first number is 0 point. So we have that reciprocal as 0.2667 multiplied by 10 power -1 will give us 0.02667. Now we were supposed to multiply the reciprocal of 0.37 by 4, then we subtract 3 multiplied by the reciprocal of 37.5. So we have 4 multiplied by the reciprocal of 0.375, which we obtained as 2.667. Then we subtract 3 multiplied by, this is 3, we make it clear. So we have 3 multiplied by the reciprocal of 37.5, which we've gotten as 0.02667. So 0.02667. So if you take 4 multiplied by 2.667, I expect you to get 10.668. Again, you take 3 multiplied by 0.02667 and you'll get 0.08001. So if we subtract 0.08001 from 10.668, we are expected to get 10.588, which can be written as 10.59, correct to 2 decimal points. And that is the end of this lesson. Thank you for your attention.